Hey, I am so excited to share with you what's been going on and why I believe you have a problem with receiving. Initially, I've had this problem too, so do not fret, do not be nervous about that. It is something that everyone feels. Sometimes we're like, I want the things, I want this, I want that, but initially it doesn't happen. And I used to wonder why it doesn't happen for me. And I believe that it the reason I believe that I it didn't happen for me is because I was holding so tightly with control. And control is definitely one of the major blocks of receiving. If you want to receive more, you must let go of control. And sometimes when we want things, we want to control the how. And the how is not going to get you what it's not it shouldn't matter entirely of the how. What matters is it's the fact that you get the thing. I wanted something. For example, I wanted this thing, and I was like, I really would like to get more money, but like the only way I could figure how was to get like a second job or, you know, passive income. Excuse me. And then I found out once I just let go, I receive money from unlikely sources. Like I do my own hair, and my coworker, she always loved my hair, and she came up to me and said, I'm going on this trip. I would love for you to do my hair. And I was like, "Ah," and not realizing that this was the how right now. And I didn't believe that it was, because I was so blocked. I was so focused on this is not how it's supposed to be. I'm supposed to get the income or the stream or something else through a second job. So if I was the old me and I stuck to the old pattern, I would have been like, no, I don't know. I don't think so. But instead what I did was I decided to release my hands, or at least release my pinky finger, and I decided to let it go. And how did I let it go? I said, yeah, sure. Um, I told her when I was available. She told me what time. We discussed what time works best. And I was able to receive money on the spot after the service I gave. And for me, that was so amazing, so transformative, because I was like, how is this happening? Oh my God. I received something without worrying about the how. So the control was very much a reason why it didn't happen for me. Like the control was so strong. And I was like, you know what? I absolutely can do this. Second, receive with gratitude. So even though it wasn't the way I thought I would receive it, the how again, I was so grateful that I did receive it, because I was like, oh my God, this is the thing I wanted. I got it, and here it is. So that was that story right there. Sometimes it can be a little confusing because you really, really, really want this thing, and you're wondering, why isn't this thing happening for me? Why can't I? Why do other people receive so easily and I don't? Like, what is this block? And so once I realized that one of the blocks was the control factor, the how, I was like, well, you know what? I have to let it go. Another reason why we're not really good at receiving is because we believe that we have to suffer to receive. That was a big one for me. Like, I believed that I had to, again, like the first example I said, I believed I needed to work and have a second job. And in some cases, possibly, but instead, when I let go, I had a second job. that's, when I did her hair, but it didn't feel like work because doing hair is something that I really like to do. So they always say if you do what you like, you'll never work a day in your life. So when I allowed myself to receive that way and not worry about the how, it helped so much. It really did. Another thing was back to the suffering thing. When we believe that we have to suffer to get anything, that's the only way we're going to get anything, because we're holding on so tightly to believing that we have to like fight tooth and nail and it's got to be like this, and if it's not like this it's not worth it. Well, I still feel entirely grateful for receiving that money, even though it wasn't hard. My grateful level was still very, very high, even though I didn't struggle to get it. And that's what I want for you. Like, I don't want you to have to suffer to get something just because you believe it to be so. So, the first step to receiving is to let go of believing that it gets to be hard, that it has to go like you have to fight tooth and nail and brimstone and walk through the fire, and it doesn't have to be that way. Other people are out here letting it be easy, letting it flow, letting it guide them, and deciding, let let it be your will, God. Whatever you decide for me, that is what I'm going to do. And if you decide that you want to make it easy for me, then that is what I'm going to do. So now I decided that I'm not only just going to have my pinky hand out, I'm going to have my other hand out, then this hand, then that hand, this finger and that finger. I'm going to release it and allow however it decides to come to me for it to come. I'm not going to, because at the end of the day, I know that it's going to come. It's going to happen for me. I always have this saying that anytime it's something I truly desire, I am always satisfied with it. I am always happy and appreciative of it. Anytime it's something that I don't desire, which is funny because I had a huge block. One of my huge blocks back then was when I decided that I used to have, like, anytime it was something that elevated me, I noticed that I stopped, and it took me weeks to get it. And then once I got the thing, like for instance, I had an old air fryer, and the old air fryer was so hard to clean. It was like it was fighting tooth, and now I'm not even gonna like shout the old air fryer out and say where it's from, but it was so hard to clean, so difficult. It was a good air fryer, but cleaning it was a struggle. So one day I had enough. I cleaned it. I packed it up. I put it in the basement. Like I had enough. Okay. Me and that air fryer was like we were not so good. Like we were not buddies. Okay. So anyway, so I packed up, and then for weeks and a year I was like, I need a new air fryer, but like that air fryer was so expensive, and maybe I could just let it go and keep it, and I'll just have to get used to cleaning it. But it really was so stressful on me. And then I saw another air fryer. It was glass at the bottom. I think it was a Ninja air fryer. I'll have to go in my kitchen and find it. But anyway, so when I had that I was looking at the air fryer and I was like scrolling, and I kept looking at the air fryer, and I was like, oh, I like how like easy it is to clean. I really like this air fryer. And I knew that like summer was coming, and personally an air fryer is just faster, and like I knew that it would like give me less stress when cooking. So what I decided to do was, I was like, it took me forever, but my desire was so strong. Like I know, like I knew that this was the right choice, this was the right air fryer, but something was holding me back because to the step one, the suffering. I felt like I needed to bring out that old air fryer from a year and a half ago, the one that I couldn't stand cleaning. And I was like, this is the air fryer that I have to get. Like, like I spent so much money on that one. Like, it, when I tell you, it took me months to get that glass air fryer. It took me months because I was addicted to suffering. Like I felt like I needed to get the thing that made me. Um, I felt like I needed to prove something. Like I had to like go back and retry the old air fryer in order to feel as if I was deserving of the new air fryer. And I realized that that was ultimately one of my biggest issues was that I did not want to allow like new things or better things or things that elevated in my life because I felt like I needed to earn it. And when you feel like you need to earn something, it's very hard to receive something, right? Like we all want to work hard for something, but why couldn't the work already have been done when I was using the air fryer and realizing long term it wasn't for me? Eventually, I did get the nice air fryer. And once I got it, I realized I was like, oh my God, thank God. Like, it was so easy. For one thing, it saved me money. Two, it was easy for me to clean. Three, it was amazing to store the air fryer. It was just I was like, oh my God, what was I waiting for? Why did I wait this entire time for this new air fryer? And it was because I felt like I needed to suffer. I felt like I needed to prove that I tried every solution before receiving this. I felt like I needed to earn it. And sometimes when you know something is not for you, whether that be an air fryer or a job, the best thing to know instead of like, I don't want to say wasting time because everything is data, everything is learning experience, but the better you know yourself, the easier it is to leave the thing that you don't want to deal with. Like other people, they may have liked the old air fryer that I had and it may have suited them better, but why was I trying to fit something like a circle into a square? Like a circle block into a square hole, it wasn't going to work. And I knew that from the months that I was using it. It wasn't every time I wanted to use it because I didn't want to turn my oven. It stressed me out because I knew right after I was going to have to clean it. And I wasn't going to be available for that. And once I started doing that with the air fryer, once I got that new air fryer, I was like, I wonder where else in my life I can add the new stuff or approved stuff. Where else in my life can I outsource where I don't have to stress? One of the things, here's a little tip for you, is I do not, I like Canva. I am not a fan of thumbnails. I don't like making thumbnails. It's not my thing. I it's not my thing. Okay, like some people are like, well, you just have to do it. No. So I pay, I believe, $15 a month on Canva, and they have pre-made thumbnails, and I just add my photos to the pre-made thumbnails because I realized that every time I had to make a thumbnail, I actually really enjoy editing videos. Like that is my tea. That is my cup of tea. This is what is this? Cranberry juice. It's a super blend from Aldi's. I really, really like this juice. Oh my God, so delicious. Anyway, back to what I was saying. So So I outsourced. I had Canva and I added my pictures. I really like editing, so I'm okay with editing my videos on CapCut and all the other things, mostly CapCut. But I realized I didn't like making thumbnails. Like after I was done editing, I was like, oh, it would take me 2 to 3 days. Two to 3 days. Okay. 2 to 3 days. What? What? Okay. Anyway, so I realized I was like, you know what? There has to be an easier way. I've done the easier way with the air fryer. There has to be an easier way. And I realized that I will pay more for something to be easier. I will, because I really don't I feel like the when I pay more for something that makes my life easier, I'm able to have more time to edit, or able to have more time to do essentially what I like to do. And that helps so much. And when I'm doing the thing that I like to do, I'm able to receive more. You guys see how you see how it's like a circle? Okay? First we start, right? The top of the cycle is you have a desire for something. And then you have two choices. You can either go left or you can go right, right? And left, it in that first choice, in that when you go left, you look left. Right now, let's look left. And you see, oh, I have to earn this. I have to do it the hard way. I have to suffer through this so I can get to the next part of the cycle. Or you can look right and you can look at the thing and say, oh, it gets to be easy. I don't have to control this. I can see this thing here and realize that that other thing doesn't work for me anymore, but this might, and I should be able to give it a try. Now, what choice would you choose? Would you choose the left or would you go right? And a lot of times we think that we would choose right, but we don't. We don't. And I have said this in a lot of my videos is you have to build that trust in yourself, because essentially you in your soul, you want to choose right. You want to be a woman, a man, a person that receives. But you can't let go of the control. And so you choose the left where it's suffering because you're comfortable with that. You're comfortable with having to prove that you deserve this thing, and you don't have to prove anything. Once you decide and do the steps, take the steps to start believing that you can believe in yourself and your choices, because ultimately that's what it comes down to. Do you trust yourself? Do you trust yourself? Do you trust yourself that you don't like this thing, like me with that other air fryer, and that this other thing will be better? Do you trust that, hey, I made a mistake? I thought I liked being in corporate and I actually like more of a creative career choice. And that's really what it comes down to. You have to start building trust in yourself. You have to start taking small steps to trusting that your decisions will be sound and that you're making the right choices. And that doesn't come easily. Trust me, I know it took me years to trust myself, especially as a child who I can look around. I worked through this though. I used to look around and say, is this emotion that I'm feeling right? Because other people are being so different. Like if I'm upset about something, I remember being upset about something as a child, and I remember seeing everybody else laughing. And so in my mind, in my child heart, I thought, okay, well, I shouldn't be upset about this thing because nobody else is. And then I realized that was the start of me not trusting myself, not trusting my emotions, and realizing that maybe just maybe, just because everybody's laughing does not mean that me being upset is invalid. Does not mean that. If somebody said, for instance, somebody said a joke about me and it really upset me, but everyone was laughing. So I'm thinking, okay, well, if everybody's laughing, I should be laughing too. But somewhere in me, looking back now as an adult, I was like, no, it's not funny. It hurt my feelings, and I will not be here for this. I no longer am going to stand for something like this. And that's when I realized, I was like, you know what? I have to make a promise to myself to say what I'm going to say and do what I'm going to do and stick by what I'm saying. And that's what I started to do. I started building up my trust in myself. And that is how I was able to believe what I wanted was what I wanted. And you can too. That's all I have for you. I wanted to be on live. I wanted to give it a try. I haven't been on live in a while. The last live I deleted. Um, but I'll see you next time on Stunning Sadie. Stunning Sade. Oh my God.